Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the Legends Limited Super Saiyan Gohan and Trunks Youth character that's been released, and obviously how good they are. Now they're very interesting in that they're a tag and revive unit, which I think, I can't recall if we've seen one before, but this is definitely the first one I'm thinking of. But basically, it's a tag unit that revives into a whole new transformation. So kind of similar to the fusions, who are tag units up until the point where they fuse. These guys function the same, except their transformation occurs when their health expires to 0. Now, in general, they are a tag switch unit that changes typing. So they don't reverse typing, they change typing. So Gohan, Super Saiyan Gohan is blue. Both of them are pretty similar in their base, except for the fact that obviously there's a slight change in their functionality. But they're both range type, they're both pretty solid, they're both really interesting, and I think overall they look like a lot of fun. So Blue Gohan, kind of to cover things, relatively tanky, decent damage inflicted, reduction to impact, explode, and slice damage. Really cool in that he nullifies unfavorable element factors. He gets damage boost when faced with enemies. Every time he uses an arts card, he boosts his damage, and this counts for both him and Trunks, which is great. And then they also nullify wide range special arts attacks, which I think is really, really good. They have a unique gauge, which will increase damage inflicted and arts card draw speed. The unique gauge does not heal unless they are comboed by an enemy. That is kind of standard across both of them in their base, and for the most part they're just relatively solid. There's nothing super duper special, I'd say, about their base. They're blast characters that nullify but the enemy special action cover change. They have a bit of a heal, a bit of a unique gauge. There's nothing crazy about them, and the reason for that is obviously they transform, so yeah, it's not really something that's too important. Transformation to Trunks is where things get very interesting. Notification of unfavorable element factors for 40 timer counts if fewer than 80 timer counts have elapsed from the start of battle. When faced with an enemy, he will nullify own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 5 timer counts every time a new enemy is put in, which makes him quite tanky. In terms of his other abilities, he restores his ki, he increases his damage inflicted every time he uses an arts card, and if there's a defeated battle member, his crit rate goes up and he draws a special arts card next. What's really cool about him is his unique gauge. Once full, will randomly draw at most 3 cards when you have 3 or fewer, and nullify enemy special action cover changes. When unique gauge is full, you'll also get a huge boost, just like future Gohan, and he will also restore his own health as well, so you can refresh on that unique gauge. The big things are his green and his blue. So his green card is super duper interesting because of the fact that it increases his own unique gauge charge rate. Huge ki boost up for him, and gives him a damage inflicted buff, which is massive. And he has his Masenko, which is pretty good as well, basically allowing him to increase his crit rate per arts card in your hand. So it's very interesting to have a unit that's so very much invested on crit rate. Definitely looks like a high damage unit as well, at least from what I can see. Yeah, definitely looks like there's a high damage unit, and he can seal the enemy's rising rush. So looks like an interesting unit. I'm not going to say broken or anything. I think a good high damage unit that's pretty solid. The big thing about them is that they are purple and blue, so it gives them a little bit of a counteraction against the green units that came out with Legends Limited. And also obviously when he transforms, he has nullification of unfavorable element types, so he's not too negatively affected by the greens that currently exist. Overall, their tag unit situation looks pretty interesting. I think having a revive unit that's a tag unit is pretty cool, and I think the unit should be able to pump out some pretty good damage, which I think should be able to take people by surprise. The Android 18 that exists is also not too bad, but she's kind of your stock standard, bat and pass, okay, upgrading, oh, I died, I'm boosting the rest of the team type of unit. There's nothing wildly crazy about her that makes me go, wow, she's unique. Akin to like a Rage General. She looks good, just doesn't look broken. The rest of the banner seems decent. There are some red units on here to obviously help counteract Ultimate Gohan. We'll have to see if there's a Zenkai for yellow future Gohan, although I think there will be. And obviously there could potentially be another plat around the corner for yellow Trunks and Vegeta. It's very hard to summon on these banners because Legends Fest was enticing people to summon, and it's a very good banner. Although their typings help them a little bit with some of the units released, they're not an answer to really anyone directly, like outright. So if you're looking to counteract the meta from Legends Fest, good luck, these aren't the guys.